Hello. So I was asked this week's Dear Kai message. So every week I am offering and asking, in fact, ask me a question. What is it that you are struggling with? Is it an emotional issue? Is it a physical issue? Is it a humanity society issue? Is it a psychological issue? And what I offer is perception and a way of seeing clearly. So, this week's Dear Kai question was in reference to people seeing their way through, right? And so we're all struggling in our perceptions right now. And how do we know that we are hearing higher source voice versus our own egos? So that is the question of the week, is how do we know the difference? What is source's form of voice and communication, and what is non-source, fear-based communication coming in? And so this is an unbelievable, brilliant question, and the best way at my current level of communication to guide you into understanding what that is. Oftentimes, source's voice sounds very much like your own voice, right? The voice that comes in, it's not necessarily some big booming voice, or even, well, sometimes it is a whisper, right? But it's not what the ego thinks it is, that it's going to sound other than your own voice. It usually sounds very much like yourself. So that's one key piece. The other key piece to it is when the voice comes in and it is received, it brings you peace. Now, let me be very clear here. It does not necessarily bring you happiness. It does not necessarily make things feel okay. It brings you peace. When the voice comes in and you hear the message and you don't like the message, because more often than not, I don't actually like what I'm hearing when Source is communicating to me. It is truth. And for myself, when I hear truth, I surrender to it. Because it doesn't matter, my ego doesn't matter if I am attached to something as an outcome, like I want this to be the outcome. There's no truth in that. I mean, there might be fragments of truth in that, but there is no direct truth in my wanting of an outcome. So when sitting in a meditation or in prayer, when the voice comes in and it kind of riles you up and you start to fight it, not necessarily the voice you're looking for. That's usually ego, right? Wanting you to choose the other version of the ego. So like a narcissistic ego comes in and wants you to feel more codependent and weak, right? That's not it. The voice of truth, the voice of the Creator, can feel painful. I'm not going to lie. There can be sadness that comes up with it, because there's an attachment to wanting something other than the answer they're giving you. However, when you sit in the truth and you hear the voice speaking to you, and it brings you a sense of peace, knowing that it doesn't matter what the outcome is because the Creator has guided it forward, and the Creator sees all aspects. It's not as if we're not going to get the end result we want. It just may or may not be in the time frame we want. And the Creator, God, divinity, whatever you want to refer to it as, sees the bigger picture and knows that the outcome will be the outcome within the time frame to which humanity can accept the outcome. Or let's even get really small here, is that the truth is the truth, and maybe it's you're dealing with a situation with a family member and you don't want to hear the truth of this, but God knows that the outcome will be the outcome when it is time for it to be the outcome, because this person, just because it seems like an easy decision for one person, it could take a lifetime for the other person to be able to be present with that step in the journey. It is our ego that wants more, right? It is the lack of surrender to truth. So, this week's Dear Kai question of how do we have discernment and to hear the difference of Creator's voice, higher self's voice, the almighty voice, versus these small little voices that are trying to confuse us. It's simply that. The small little voices try to confuse you. They set you off as if you're inside of like a pinball machine and trigger emotion and trigger emotion and trigger emotion. God's voice, Source Creator's voice, literally is like being wrapped up in a blanket and being held and shook. God knows that it's going to cause us pain and discomfort. However, it's constantly consoling us simultaneously. To me, that feels like peace. Again, peace doesn't bring happiness. Peace is peace. True acceptance of what is. I hope this helps. Please reach out to me, message me, the House of Kai, on Facebook or on YouTube, and I would love to provide you further information. Right now, I've made it an audio recording for the Dear Kai. However, if you would prefer to see it in written form, I would love to offer that to you. Or if you would like to see video, even though there's plenty of other video of me, if that's what you would prefer, I'm willing to do that as well. It's about getting the message to the people in the best format that they can receive it. So, thank you for giving me the opportunity, and with great love and compassion, I offer you a new perception and insight. Have a good day. Peace.